News, everyone. Welcome to News.
Good news, everybody.
This is
Welcome, everybody.
I had to.
News, everyone. Yes. Welcome to Kanpai Cast, as I struggle with my cat here to keep him occupied. Kanpai Cast News number 2.
3.
3? No.
3.
No, it is 3. Yeah, because last week was Sailor Moon. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, week commencing the... Wait, do we do it based on the the Sunday or the Monday?
I think we do it Sunday. So this is the week commencing the 18th.
The 18th. Yeah.
Welcome, Thaylien. Thank you for filling in on short notice. It's very much appreciated.
I'm here again, guys.
We love him. We love him so much. All right, let's go ahead.
It's so sad that myself and Loz are never seen in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
It's like you're Jekyll and Hyde or some shit.
Strangely enough, we never saw you together with the Queen either.
Yeah.
You weren't looking 15 years ago when I actually did meet her.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
To talk about.
Let's jump into it. So first, we have a follow-up from last week's episode. The Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office arrested Kadokawa chairman Suguhiko, that's it, Kadokawa, on Wednesday on suspicion of bribing a former member of the Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympics Organizing Committee. To briefly recap, Haruyuki Takahashi, a member of the Olympic Organizing Committee, used his connections at his former advertising firm to allegedly secure ad space for companies like Kadokawa in exchange for a portion of the money being paid to him directly. Kadokawa is suspected of paying 69 million yen, about 480,000 US dollars, or 420 Great British pounds, also nice.
420,000, not just 420.
420,000, yes.
Our pound is not that strong.
Former executive Toshiyuki Yoshihara and former senior official Kyoji Maniwa were also arrested last week as part of the scandal. Chairman Kadokawa continues to insist this was just a consultancy fee.
Wow. Still pretty nuts. Every time you hear it, it's vaguely accurate in plotline, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And so, if I remember correctly, one of the other people that were arrested from a different company, Kadokawa, says Kadokawa says it's just a fee. They said it was totally a bribe. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, if we move on to the next, there were a ton of game announcements at this week's Tokyo Game Show 2022, including a One Piece RPG in the style of Final Fantasy X, Dragon Ball The Breakers in the style of Dead by Daylight, an isekai game called Forspoken, a Season 2 DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, among many others. But let's look more closely at 3 of them. The first up, the delayed sequel to Breath of the Wild.
You know what I haven't done?
What have you not done?
I haven't switched over to where people can watch look at the...
No. You have to turn on the assets, Nasuth.
Oh.
Hit the assets button.
He's right.
Oh,
He's
crikey.
right. It is actual asset. Because I could be showing people...
stuff.
Yeah. So this is... Yes, okay, so we got... Yeah, here we go. We're good. We're good now.
Let's look a little more closely at 3 of the game announcements. The delayed sequel to Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, is finally coming on May 12th, 2023. While the teaser is light on gameplay, it does show some kind of new glider. I'm also impressed with it because it also shows that the game is still set in the same map. That's,
Yeah.
But is it any good?
We don't know
That's
yet.
still to be known.
There's literally no gameplay in this, almost no gameplay in this trailer.
I mean
it looks like
it's hilarious watching him run.
I mean, it does look good.
That is kind of gameplay. The
little
things that
bit,
you can see.
There's the glider.
The glider there, but there's the things that you saw, like the lift that was going up.
Yeah.
With the yellow things. Could be part of the time stop ability, but time reverse. Something fell and it reversed its course. Something like that. It's there's lots of little things we weren't expecting in Breath of the Wild, and they're probably going to expand on them in this next game.
Yeah, it looks like some other good stuff. Some kind of Metroid. Oh no, that's History of Metroid. Okay.
So, the next was Sony has ported the 2 Yakuza spin-off games, Judgment and Lost Judgment games to PC via Steam, which is one more in another list of long things that are being Steam optimized from Sony. A lot of their games are getting re-released there.
They've seen Xbox release stuff on PC because an Xbox is essentially a PC to begin with, right? So I think they're finally realizing that they need to get in on that market.
Oh, and not to mention Xbox Games Pass is still like the most dominant subscription service on the market because of the amount of things it offers for free. The PlayStation version doesn't offer so many of the things it used to because it just keeps taking things out of its library.
Yeah.
But finally, a new challenger approaches in the fitness boxing series. Kenshiro burst onto the scene in Japan on December 22nd and in English in March 2023. The game uses the Joy-Cons to track your progress punching and dodging like a rhythm game, while Kenshiro gives you coaching tips. With his new title, they've also added boss battles to the normal fitness training, while the trainer doesn't have English subtitles, and YouTube's auto-translate is frankly garbage.
Absolute garbage.
It does seem to have a lot of humour. Hopefully carries over to the full game.
It does actually look really interesting.
I want to be trained to punch by Kenshiro.
I know.
I'm looking at this little trailer, and look, you've got actual fights going through with these same designs, all the classics of these stupid idiots with the helmets and.
I have never wanted to switch so much as I do right now.
Well, wow! I have one.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Also, I get Bayonetta and you don't.
Wow. Can't believe you.
Look at that. Is that your character?
Oh, no. She was the old... she was the one from the other games.
Oh,
she's your instructor from the other games.
From the other games, okay.
But she can't survive in this apocalyptic world without Kenshiro.
Clearly.
Shall we move on?
Yep.
All right. In more reasons why I should visit Japan, we've got more news about the new Ghibli Park's progress. In a new video, which is playing right now, the staff showed off the Grand Warehouse area, which includes recreations of 13 different Ghibli films. They also announced 10 short films collectively called Ghibli no Mori no Aiga, or the Ghibli Forest films, which were before only exclusively available at the Ghibli Museum, which is in another area in Japan, will be available for viewing back-to-back in the theater that they have in that actual area of the park. Other areas of the park will include recreations of the shrine from My Neighbor Totoro, the airship from Castle in the Sky, and a replica of the witch's home in Earwig and the Witch, all of which will open later next year. Just the warehouse area is about 4 times the size of the current Ghibli Museum. I don't know, I've never seen that one.
That's on Netflix these days, so you can watch it if you want.
I'll have to check it out, because I've never heard of it.
These are concept pictures of some of the other areas and stuff.
Go back up.
That one.
This one?
There's a Howl's Moving Castle in the background.
Yes, there is.
Oh my god.
Yes, there is.
So
and that's some kind of giant spider.
Yeah, that's
from Mononoke.
Oh,
it's the thing that
you're right.
Ashitaka fights.
You're right.
It's very good. And at the top, we have...
I think this is just the warehouse park, yeah.
That's the warehouse part, where you've got all the different buildings.
Yeah.
Which, look at it just has concepts. It's bringing a tear to my eye. Just the idea of going there.
And there's campus.
When it's fully done. The video also showed off lots of little things like that they'll be adding, which are just adorable, like little cutouts of the tree spirits hanging from the trees.
No face is going to be there, and
soot sprites worked into all the into the tiling. I was looking through and I'm like,
it's such a short video. I could replay it.
So you got all the little videos, all the little places, all the little houses.
It's all so recognizable, so iconic.
And look, it's me. And there they are. I just want to go.
I know. Like I said, more reasons you need to visit Japan. Although not right now, because apparently they're having a typhoon.
Well, and still COVID.
Yeah, well, that too.
So this was the weekend that we were supposed to go. We had planned to go to Japan, and literally like day one is a typhoon. I mean, that would have been a horrible first day.
Yeah.
Well, you say that unless you like the rain and you get to experience a typhoon.
I do like the rain. I do love storms.
Well, speaking of Ghibli, background artist Yoichi Nishikawa and Akira key animator Tatsuyuki Tanaka will both have exhibits featured at Gallery Nucleus in Alhambra, California. Tanaka's exhibit will feature original sketches and illustrations in a cyberpunk style and runs from October 1st to the 16th. For Nishikawa, this isn't his first exhibit here, but the exhibit will feature all new scenescapes he's been working on over the past 3 years. It will run from October 22nd to November 13th. The events will be free to attend, and the artists will be there on their respective opening nights to sign autographs. And on the same days, they will also hold workshops that cost $120 to attend.
I'm not sure what they're going to talk about in the workshops, but
really? Okay.
presumably, like how they draw stuff and how you can draw stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
Design concepts and
so I've actually
laying out artwork like this.
I've actually got the gallery pages. So this is the Akira artist.
Look at how complex some of those things are.
Oh, and he did an actual music video too. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
Really?
Oh, it doesn't actually play the whole thing.
Oh,
but yeah, look at the style.
I've seen that. Yeah. No, there's a couple of things in this style that I really like.
Yeah, he's apparently worked on a few music videos. Yeah, and then the other one. Here's his some of his landscapes. I thought there were more than that, but I guess not. Even so, even just these two are gorgeous. Right. Soler agrees.
Entertaining.
Yeah. Right. So, French publisher JBE Books has released what they're calling the world's largest book. The first 102 volumes of One Piece in a single massive book. There will only be 50 copies sold as an avant-garde art piece, described as the materialization of an ecosystem saturated by media, by the artist, while the publisher calls it a commentary on piracy and online fan culture, saying, online participatory culture and the medium's new networked possibilities have intensified the nature of comics beyond the scope of professional, established expertise, with new and disruptive forms of entrepreneurial fan culture. Readers scan, translate, and distribute online their favorite manga series. One Piece is a product of this expanded digital production belt. The One Piece book. I think I'm done with that. It sounds kind of typically French, you know.
I mean that was a big, long, fancy series of words, but I mean, yes, they acknowledge that there's piracy, but like, does that really explain why they've made this insane behemoth of a book?
Yeah. I don't quite understand that either.
I kind of think it's a copy this casual. To which somebody is, in fact, going to buy one at great expense and scan the entire thing.
Yeah, maybe it's a commentary on how this level of book, this much information, is way easier to store in digital form than an actual book or series of books.
Yeah. So I asked the question of you guys on the main Kanpai Cast, but I
out later this
unfortunately haven't gotten round to it, the same as everybody else who's watching the news here today. And the reason I asked about One Piece was because I have finally myself managed to get in striking distance of finishing the actual animated current content.
Think of all that time you could have been using for other things.
I have
like reading One
Well, no,
Piece.
I've been doing other things at the same time. You know, so if it's do my ironing, I get something like One Piece up. It's not been my entire anime consumption. That's why it's taken me literally years to catch up. I stopped watching, 3-4 years ago, and it's taken me all this time to actually catch up.
Yeah.
With Solid, and I think the anime is currently on simulcast out to episode 1039.
Something like that, yeah.
And I'm at something like 1028. So I'm a binge away from catching up.
You're cray.
But at the same time, 1,000 animated episodes. Think of how much that is. At more than 1,000 animated episodes. And
admittedly, half of each episode is recap.
Right. No, actually, I've worked out that it's about, on average, there's 20 minutes of new stuff. Because, out of a 25-minute episode.
Fair.
There are longer recaps. I mean, episode 1000 was a bit of a tribute to the show and a lot of recap as well. But, there are actual dedicated recap episodes, which really skews the amount of it.
I mean...
But you look at that book, right?
Yeah.
That, right there. That book right there. That is the first... How many did you say it was? 120?
120 volumes.
No, 102.
102 volumes, yes.
That is the first 102 volumes of the manga.
In one
that
massive...
doesn't have the filler.
You're not even going to be able to read this without the spine being destroyed.
That doesn't have the recap. That doesn't have the filler.
Yeah.
But
that's just
apart from a 1 page or so here or there.
Regardless, how are you even going to read that?
Exactly. This is going to fall apart when you read
very, it. Very, very carefully.
It's like that meme of the massive book in the library that is flipped open. It's yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if you can read really fast, you could read it like a slinky.
Well, before it destroys the staircase with its weight.
No, you just put it onto a lower surface. Just one step. You don't need multiple steps. Just one step. Just.
Oh my god.
And just.
Shit, I missed a bit.
Oh no, let's go back.
But it has taken. It is something like 100 chapters.
Yeah.
Just in the bloody Wano arc.
Oh my god.
It's still not finished, as far as I know. It's still rounding up.
Absolutely insane.
And I think the Wano arc itself, in terms of volume, has been the same as any 4 other arcs put together.
Jeez.
Then again, we have got to the point after episode 1000 of him punching fucking Kaido in the face for the first time.
Finally.
Properly.
Anywho.
Anyway. But that's a hell of a thing.
This next one is really... I found this one really interesting. And you get to read it, Thaylien.
Excellent. I'm going in blind. All right. This story is a lesson on how to view sex workers both in and out of Japan. Voice actress Yuko Goto, who plays Georgie Saikawa in Dragon Maid, has been a long-time sufferer of autoimmune diseases. In middle school, she was diagnosed with a disorder that caused rashes and bleeding, and was so severe that doctors wanted her to miss her 3rd year and stay in hospital. Somewhat amusingly, she tried to sneak out to go to school, much to her father's annoyance. Later in 2012, she was further diagnosed with lupus and had to cut back on voice acting. Her treatment clinic was located in the heart of the red light district, meaning she often interacted with women from the nearby soapland, who treated her with compassion and kindness.
For anyone who doesn't know what a soapland is, it's essentially an erotic massage parlor.
Yes. No actual sex, supposedly.
Supposedly.
But it is a where you can get up close and personal with some attractive women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they treat her in a very down-to-earth way that made her feel at home. Rather than she shouldn't be putting her problems on others. The women would often speak of their diseases with foul language, exactly as she did, but so many others wouldn't, like they were all in this together.
Yeah, so she felt close to these people who would curse about it, rather than people in other clinics and stuff who treated it I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's talk in very nice terms about it and very that sort of thing. And that's probably good for some people, but I prefer this sort of down to earth thing too.
As somebody who's been in and out of a few places for myself for injuries and diseases, I've often preferred people to actually just speak frankly about it.
Yeah.
So, oh yes, you've got a gut wound. It's going to take a while to heal. Don't fucking do anything.
Yeah, don't
that would
fuck
tear it
around.
open. Okay? You've got a second-degree burn on your arm. We're going to do this to it. It will fucking hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'd rather actually be told things than for them to try and wrap me in bubble wrap. The few times they have has mentally chafed like you would not believe. So I'm glad that somebody else has got this same viewpoint, and that they found other people that actually, treat her like a person, like the diseases she's got are actually just something to be, talked about.
Well, haven't there even been studies where, like, I mean, obviously, yeah, be kind, but you can still talk about it frankly and be kind. But haven't there been studies that show that cursing helps with pain and stuff?
Yes, in a way. Volume.
It makes it easier to deal with it.
Angry shouting of any kind actually is a reaction to pain that helps ease pain.
Yeah.
Because it does release certain chemicals in the brain that help dull it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So when I was younger, I was diagnosed with a heart condition known as Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, and I got to a point where I stopped wanting to tell people about it and things because every single time I did, I had to go into laborious detail of they would ask, "Oh, what does that mean for me?" and things like this, and as soon as I explain it into detail, what the impacts and things, they just instantly switch off, and it's just I don't care anymore. I'm just like, cool, yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking to people.
Yeah, it's a kind of response
the
where you just want to say,
is,
yeah, fucking Google exists.
Yeah. Well, the proper response once you've explained it is, well, that fucking sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I like this story because it in Japan, even though sex workers aren't, it's perfectly legal, it's still kind of looked down on, and I like that this story shows them as just people. They're just people.
That's so overly fetishized usually as well.
Yeah.
That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
you.
People always seem to think that, soap plans are more than they are.
Yeah.
People always seem to think that sex workers do more than they actually are paid to do. And that there's
Happy ending?
Romanticized sections to it as well.
Yeah.
Like, the right person could go into a soap land and seduce a woman away from it. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Right. So, news of a new system in Japan for filing invoices. I kind of talked to Zeno about this earlier, but this story put it in better detail. News of a new system in Japan for filing invoices is picking up more worldwide attention. Under the system, invoices will only be considered verified if they have the issuer's full, real name, which will then be stored in a database accessible by the public. This move by the Ministry of Finance is supposed to make it easier for companies that deal with large numbers of invoices to verify the issuers before paying. However, the concern is that small creators who use pseudonyms, from mangaka to VTubers, will have their identities exposed, thus making it easier for stalkers and online attackers to find them. Currently, the Ministry of Finance has no plans to alter the identification system, which will go into effect October 2023, but more and more critics say that it prioritizes large corporations over individual privacy. While filing verified resources is voluntary, freelancers are coming under pressure by being told they will have trouble retaining work if they don't.
So one question I have for this is what classifies the requirement for an invoice? So I've worked at some jobs where at the end of the week I have to invoice my work, and then they at the end of the next week they'll actually put the money in my account. Mm-hmm. And then likewise, I know plenty of contractors in my line of work that they have to do all the taxes themselves, but they're not tied to any one job. Typically, their contracts last 3 to 6 months, and then they have to find work elsewhere. Just stuff like this. But I'm wondering if because when you mentioned VTubers and mangaka, like, does it work differently in Japan, where instead of, it's kind of assumed that you've worked your hours, no one's caught you out? Like, do they actually have to put an invoice in to even, like, this is your permanent role, this is my invoice, I need you to pay me? So
yeah,
I'm wondering if there's
I don't
something
know.
like that.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I invoice you every week for something, even though it's a recurring thing, So I assume it could be something like that, even.
Yeah.
Any invoices for services rendered or for goods supplied.
Yeah.
If it's coming from somebody that doesn't want their identity to be revealed, is going to fall under this same criticism.
And there's one more little bit to it too. Verified invoices will also be subject to consumption tax, while currently freelancers and solo operators are granted a tax exempt status. So it could also be because of that.
It's really taking an anti-small business bent to this.
Sorry, can you elaborate on that? What does that mean?
So currently, anyone who is a freelancer, essentially, who invoices a company, doesn't have to pay tax on what they receive. They have a tax-exempt status afforded them by the government. But if they have to invoice using the verified system, suddenly their earnings come under the consumption tax.
Which is like PAYE over here in England,
Yeah,
actually,
or income tax or whatever,
No,
Yeah.
so the important part here is that a comparison in the UK is, before you used to be able to, if you were a contractor, you could actually claim back VAT on anything that you were doing for the course of the work, right? So if I was working for a company in Manchester and I had to travel to Manchester, I could get the VAT back on transport or food or lodgings or whatever.
Because it's the contractee that's actually paying the tax, not you.
However, when was it? 2000? No, I think it was like 2001. It was when Tony Blair was around. They introduced a tax called IR35, or a law, bill passed called IR35, which basically meant that if you are a contractor, the only way that you can actually claim back your VAT is if you are literally working two jobs at the same time, which was physically impossible, right? So they literally just we're changing the get out clause, and it was like absolutely stupid. So it feels very.
I remember that it was hated.
Yeah, it was very. It feels very underhanded right now. That now when you invoice, it's subject to tax. So it's just like.
And again, there's that pressure for freelancers to have to do it or give up getting freelance work. Do
you know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of that thing that we're trying to push, the Stop Online Piracy Act, or whatever it is. Now, what that would have done was force everybody to register their copyright for something with an actual verified database. And
then they could charge whatever they wanted.
And verified databases could charge whatever they wanted. There could be as many of them as you wanted. And the only way that a corporation would have to say that they could use your work without having to be subject to the copyright penalties
is proof that it was on their database.
Yeah, it's proof that they couldn't find your thing by making a reasonable attempt to find your copyright.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
And when interviewed on the topic, the person that was bringing it in, they said, "What about the right to self-copyright?" And they said, "Well, I guess you better be okay with having your work used by other people."
Yeah, that's so. Yep, it's another case of prioritizing the big and powerful over the small and independent.
Exactly. They keep trying to make these moves to do that, and every time, because they don't see the internet as an open service, they see it as a resource for making money.
God. So my question here, and because we have an expert in VTubers, I'm pretty sure all the VTubers that I know of are basically signed up with HoloLive, right? My question is, are they? Well, I mean, this I don't think is going to be answerable. Are they going to be subject to this invoicing system, like all of them? Even though that
I would almost. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm damn well sure HoloLive is going to know who the hell they've employed as their mascots. But the next question I have is, so that's part one. Are they likely going to get fall into this problem? Part two is, are there any VTubers that are like completely independent that would work like a contractor for? Do you know what I mean?
I would assume that even the HoloLive employees are technically independent contractors, but they're like under some kind of
no.
contract.
So you say independent contractors, but no, these are like idle contracts. They would have to be.
Right.
So they would have to know the identity of the person, which is why we got those leaks a long time back for the V-Shoujo lot. Of their
but it's not in a
photos.
It's not in a database somewhere for people to look at.
No, it's not a database somewhere to look at. So under that contract, all they would have to do is write a couple of lines in to say that they are not directly invoicing, that they are getting paid. Subject to work done without requiring an invoice, and that protects their identity completely. Same kind of thing, but independent ones, their contracts would then have to be something more like an advertising contract. So in which case, they're not invoicing for work done, they're getting paid subject to contract, which that could actually protect them as well. Paid subject to fulfilling an agreement.
This, of course, assumes that's possible under Japanese law. I don't know.
But the only independent ones I know of that this might fall on are the Western ones. If they were working for one of the other companies that has a base in another country, it's somewhere like in Japan. So if it's say V-Shoujo, if somebody like, oh heck forbid, Snuffy decides to do a collaboration with V-Shoujo,
there you go.
They might have to, but they might be protected by being themselves based out of the country. So in that kind of sense, I think that would be, but it's definitely going to affect all of the mangaka, all of the people that do independent work under a pseudonym, which is literally like every Twitter user. So.
Oh yeah, artists, if they want to invoice, somebody commissions them. And they send an invoice out, that's going to now
actual
be
commission work, public. Artists, art streamers, all of that.
Jeez. Should we move on to the next story?
Which I think is me.
I believe it is you, Thaylien.
Yes, and it's a topic I quite like. This is about the new Bleach anime's voice cast. It's apparently so massive that other production companies are actually complaining it's causing interruptions in their recording schedules as more and more actors are pulled in. One of the actors sends a master list of who's recording and when, and at its peak, there are 80 people recording in one day. During the days of the week when Bleach is being recorded, other companies complain they can't get in touch with the actors at all.
This thing is huge.
1,000-year Blood War arc. What the hell? You can you imagine? I don't know if you guys have actually read the manga about version of this.
No.
Okay, there are like 40 characters on a side and 6 sides to the wall. I'm joking. It's if you consider that there's 12, there's the Gote 13, right? Every single one of them has captain, vice captain, sub characters. Right. So that's what would normally be the cast of an anime multiplied by 13.
Yeah.
Then you've got our main cast who are average out around 8. Then the enemy who has Arrancar, the Quincy types, plus flashbacks to the past where they had slightly different members, and there's even apparently, because there is in the manga, there's callbacks to characters from the filler. So a lot of people discount the very last season, the Fullbring season, as being filler, but it's not. It's actually, completely canon and is relevant because the characters from that come back. There's thousands of potential characters they could use, and say 80 people at a time doesn't surprise me. With the number of voice lines that they can work into this season, or arc.
I don't know if this is a fair comparison. Yeah, I don't know if this is a fair comparison because One Piece Red is a film and this is a series. But One Piece Red has been doing amazing. Like, it's been doing gangbusters. I have the feeling that this could be even bigger than that in the end.
I'm also wondering, is this ever going to get out of Disney jail as well?
I'm sure it will eventually.
Because, again, summertime rendering, there's no news of it ever coming out, and Disney owned the fucking license to it. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I think they're just waiting for the dub, honestly.
If they're going to do the dub?
Yeah. Right. So I'm spotlighting this one because it shows how the Japanese see American tourists. A new anime movie called Chibiham Juicy and Me starts airing in late September and centers around a chubby American girl named Chibiham who visits Japan and her friends who get caught up in her antics. And I mean, she just look at her. She is totally the typical American tourist, right? As far as they can see.
What was that shot?
That was a toilet. That was a traditional Japanese toilet.
Yes, but surrounded by what?
It looked like flower petals, yeah.
Right.
I love Japan.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Replay that. I'm bamboozled. So, first off, it looks like it's mocapped in.
Yeah, I think it is.
VR chat.
Oh yeah, yeah. It really looks like it, doesn't it? The quality of this animation is.
Is interesting. Selfies, cute guys.
Sumo wrestlers. There's the toilet.
No, that's not petals.
Yeah, it was.
That's not petals.
The poop emoji.
It's literally the poop emoji. Oh my god.
I'm wondering if that's supposed to be sort of like a safe way of depicting that.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Oh,
in fact,
no.
Considering there's little cut pieces
like that.
There.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
It's pink poop emojis. So yes, that's.
What's the narrative of this movie?
So she goes to Japan. And she just has adventures, and her friends, who I'm not actually sure if her friends are Japanese or American, are just kind of like, they have culture shock, while she just loves it. She's like, oh, it's all amazing. Yeah. Japan, she's like an otaku, or a Japanophile or whatever.
Okay.
I
have fears.
Yeah, fair. So do you want to read these out? It's just a list of the new upcoming stuff, so...
It's the round out. I think this is all yours.
Right, so we have all the upcoming shows for your convenience. An isekai anime called By the Grace of the Gods. The second season is coming in January 2023. I've never heard of this one. I don't know if Xeno has or not.
No, never heard of this.
It's about a guy who goes to another world, and there's like some slimes and stuff. As always, yeah. Under the protection of the gods, a relaxed life with slimes in another world begins. One day, the life of middle-aged Japanese businessman Ryuma Takabayashi came to a rather sudden and disappointing end. Ryuma had never had a blessed life, but after his death, 3 great gods sought his corporation and reincarnated him as a child in another world with swords and... So yeah, very typical isekai. Sounds like.
You lost me at slimes.
Yeah. And so this is another one that Xeno, I think, found on Twitter and told me about. Genshin Impact's Hoyoverse is teaming up with Ufotable to create an animated project, TBA. No news on when it'll come out.
There is news, though.
I swear you did.
Okay.
But the trailer really just shows off like environments and stuff. It's not really much of.
This is really CG. It looks good CG as well.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty decent.
I think it's designed to be an upgrade in graphics over the
Yes, these are the
game.
characters. We get to see these two, and that's it.
So they're probably 2D animated. That's good.
Yeah. So we're predicting.
I don't know, actually.
Either there's going to be played by Chris Pratt, and Paimon is going to be played by Seth
Oh yeah, we do
Rogen.
actually get to see Paimon early on. I forgot about that. Yeah, there she is.
Yeah. Yes, played by Seth Rogen.
She does look 2D animated, actually.
Yeah.
And actually getting to see a proper animated one rather than the wobbling about the CG model does. That's kind of nice.
Right, so
Yeah,
next on the
It
list...
seems a lot more natural.
This is, I believe, another Season 2. Mahou Shoujo Magical Destroy. Oh no, this is a new one. A new anime project by the director of from Furikuri Progressive, coming out in 2023.
I'm liking
It
already.
does look pretty good so far. I mean, look at that.
A magical girl zombie destroyer, it looks like.
Have you seen Is That a Zombie?
No.
Oh, you should check out Is That a Zombie?
Anarchy. Oh, look at that. Hang on, sorry. Scroll back. Anarchy.
Anarchy.
As a magical girl Anarchy.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
I'm
even got the
loving
Anarchy
that
symbol.
concept. Yes.
Blue, who has an eyeball on her staff.
Yep. Brilliant.
Pink.
Okay.
I love it. I love it
Tell
already.
me they aren't. Tell me
Yeah.
that character isn't going to use mustard gas as like as a
Yeah.
Does it have a... I don't think it has a description of what it's gonna... They don't have a blurb or anything. I don't know. I'm interested in that.
Next.
Give it to me.
So, this one is... oh. Come on. No. Come on.
I see it there.
I've been transported
This
to
is
it.
already
It's
a
fine,
better.
it's fine.
Handyman Saito in Another World, starting January 2023. We've heard a little bit about this in the past, but yeah, he's just like a handyman who gets transported and uses his knowledge to do like advanced dungeoneering that the people in this world don't understand.
Because he can repair, he can clear traps.
Yeah.
I'm liking this, and importantly, he can use common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm more interested in this than was it the vending machine in Another World?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like it has a quirk. But
It's
got
adorable
Gandalf.
fairy character. Look at her. She's sweet. She's cute.
And goblins.
We must protect
Goblins.
goblins.
next.
That's pretty good. So now we have... I don't know about this one. Rhapsody, an anime about 4 real bands under the Rhapsody music label, will have a live anime summer 2023. Hang on one second. So sorry about that. It's gonna be like 4 different bands. I think they're actual bands under this label. And it's going to be kind of like I don't know what a live anime is, but it's going to be kind of like about a story about the music industry.
I'm guessing, a live over there is a literal live event.
Oh,
so
that could be.
It's an anime about their live events, or maybe even episodes are in fact done as live events properly.
Yeah,
and then we get them after the fact.
I don't know. It could be interesting. It could be terrible.
Nothing.
We'll never know.
The CG's a bit weird.
CG's a little bit weird. Another quick one: Eden Zero Season 2, coming in 2023.
Want it?
I think Yi got me to watch this one, and it's actually really good. Very action adventure.
Yeah, it's the same. It's basically fairy tale set in another location again.
With YouTubers.
Yeah, with YouTubers.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Yes, and it's actually been quite fun to watch.
There's like a pirate queen and stuff too.
One thing I will say, with Eden's Zero is like it has learned from the mistake of earlier traditional Shonen Jump, where they just constantly pump out episodes with fillers and stuff like that. This hasn't done that in sight. It's like, okay, we've done this part, now we go away, we make the next part, and then we release it rather than just constantly.
Wasn't season 1 in like 2020?
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago, yeah. So next up, the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. Season 2, in 2023. Another one I don't know if Xeno's watched it or not. It seems like it might be up his alley.
I've heard of it. Not sure about it though.
Yeah.
No, I have not. That has not crossed my radar at all.
Let's see if it's got a blurb. Sai, a 20-year-old office worker, is whisked away to a whole new world. Unfortunately for Sai, the ritual that summoned her, meant to produce a saint who would banish the dark magic, brought 2 people over instead of 1, and everyone prefers the second girl over Sai. But this is just fine by Sai, who leaves the royal palace to set up shop, making potions and cosmetics with her. Oh, so it's a shopkeeper one. No!
That's why it didn't cross
But the thing is, it could be good as long as they're properly doing it instead of just hand waving. And then she used magic to make the potion.
Oh yeah, like, as long as her supposed sainthood doesn't come back to haunt her, so maybe there's going to be more that goes on.
That's one of the really nice things about shows like Descendants of the Bookworm or no, that's pretty much it. A lot of the problem with things like Parallel World Pharmacy or even Slow Life as a Pharmacist or
I'm leaving the hero's party to become a pharmacist. Or else to become a shopkeeper in a backwater.
They just like, I have to create this chemical compound. And I'll just wave my hand that it's done. The end.
Yeah. Yeah, so, essentially.
I don't know much about this one. It might be good.
It might be good. But yeah, if that sounds like your kind of thing, keep an eye out for it.
A plot thread that might be fun is if they actually kill off the other girl that was the other saint, so she's the only one. That would be just dark enough, to drag her back in.
Or if the other girl has to come begging for her help or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So next we have Xeno's favorite anime ever, Girlfriend, is greenlit for a second season, but no date as of yet.
What?
Xeno loves Girlfriend.
Season
absolutely loves it.
No Game, No Life is still there waiting.
Yep.
How? This was just so goddamn stupid.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Right,
It's fine. It's not fine. I'm going to break something.
It's not fine. So we've spoken a little bit about this before, but the remake of Usui Yatsura starts October 13th. We'll run for 2 quarters this year, then we'll take a break, and then we'll have 2 more quarters for a full year of episodes. So it's not 2 seasons, it's 1 season split over 4 quarters. So like it'll be 48 episodes? I think? Something like that.
50,
this could be interesting.
52.
To see how they've actually, redone the character. To redone the world and everything to... Because it's obviously a remake, so it's going to have newer things in it.
It's supposed to be very, respectful of the original.
Yeah, if it takes the original story and updates it with better animation, then that's just fantastic. That's a proper remaster of it.
So my understanding, because I
100th anniversary of the manga's publisher. Wow.
I know nothing of this series at all, and I'm pretty sure the author is the author that created Ranma Half. As long as we don't have another character like fucking Hapasai, who was this old geezer that's constantly around.
Think of it more like if they're remaking. What's it?
It's fine. You had me on. No, it doesn't have that character, so I'll give this a go.
Yeah, fair enough. No, the old. What's his name? The little bastard white wolf with a big sword that's
Sif?
as a no.
You're
Girl
not-
falls
oh.
down a well.
You're
Girl
not nailing
falls-
us.
Girl falls down a well, goes into another world, and encounters a guy that's been nailed to a tree.
Oh, Inuyasha.
Alice in Wonderland.
Inuyasha, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
So
one.
it's more that kind of thing where they've got a powerful person from another world.
Alice
it's
in
done in
Tokyo.
Done in this one. Done where the powerful person comes to this world instead.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah, and the main character is the grounded one.
Interesting. All right. Could be interesting. So, after a successful Kickstarter campaign that funded a pilot episode, Mecha Uday Mechanical Arms is getting a full anime and a manga. So that's kind of
Okay.
cool. Successful
somebody's
Kickstarter.
kickstarted.
Look at this. Look at this art
Okay.
style.
Yeah.
Let's see how they actually deliver that.
Oh, we have a trailer.
Yeah.
It's 12 minutes. Jeez, I'm not. Oh, this is more like an
Oh,
interview.
this-
Okay.
Yeah.
This
so
is probably like the promo that's
Yeah.
on Kickstarter itself.
Still, looks pretty neat.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's a particular animation studio that's has a lot of other projects that they've worked on but hasn't had their own. Is that
This
Trief Studio. I've never heard of them before.
right? That's they posted a documentary video which teased the full-fledged anime and profiles the studio itself. Yeah, so I'm guessing they specifically wanted this project, but nobody would take it on, so they kickstarted it.
I'm not
could be
quite
fun.
sure if I'm sold on the art style.
Mm.
I don't know.
Like, I think I need to actually see it because, like, I do struggle with, shows that have less shading and things like that. 'cause
Oh
it
yeah,
just
he
feels-
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I want one of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story of the anime revolves around two youths. Hikaru has been enjoying his normal school days in middle school, and Alma, his Mecha Uday wielder, who can be activated when he is attached to human beings. There are exciting adventures and battles following the two of them in the story. So, could be interesting. Yeah.
We'll see.
I like the look of it. Xeno's not sold. I like the look of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally, last but not least, as I go crazy again, My Dress
I
Up
have to-
Darling Season 2 has been announced.
I have to mute as I do the Asmongold,
The girly scream.
the woo.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no date, but it's going to be likely 2024
Okay.
or late 2023.
Yeah.
So we're all very excited about that.
Is it the
All
same
right.
studio? Is it the same director?
Oh,
Do we know anything? We may not know anything.
I don't think we know anything.
Scroll back up just a little bit.
That's who published it in English. Crunchyroll is streaming the anime right now. Yeah, I don't think we know really anything about it yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I
shame.
assume it's going to be the same people.
Yeah.
One can hope. One hoped that it was the
I
same
really
people
hope
that
it.
did One Punch Man. So
Yeah, that's fair.
So
and
we've
I
got
think
some great upcoming shows, haven't we?
Yeah, some really interesting ones. Some ones that are kind of meh. But yeah.
That's
Gosh, please, why?
this is why Nasuth isn't allowed nice things. He just can't contain himself during recording sessions. You know, he's got to do inappropriate stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
Oh, there we go. Finally, just in time for us to wrap up and get the frig out of here. Oh,
He says with his neck just broken. Just give up on it, man.
I think it's because Solaire is laying on the top of the chair behind me, and so it's screwing with the hand capture.
Oh, dear.
Right, let's get
Anyway.
out of here. Let's wrap up.
Right. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. If you're wondering where the podcast was, well, the podcast comes out in a couple of days' time. We are talking about potentially moving things around, what with me having good boy internet. That's why none of the stuff is on display right now, because I'm still moving in and things. But, yeah, so if you guys want to check out the actual show. It comes out in 2 days' time, and you can hear us talk about, I suppose that. Well, I don't know what a nice way of saying this is. The gender perspectives, of men and women watching anime and things like, what each side of the gender
trials
lines
and tribulations of the gendered gaze.
How do you look at fan service? How do you look at brutal anime? How do you look at
G-A-Y-S?
Anyway, right. So
if I
that's
forgot to say it at the top of the news, links to everything will be in the description below. If you're interested in any of that, want to take a closer look at any of the trailers, definitely check it out. Leave comments below letting us know what you thought. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Okay, I'm done, Zeno. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, bye!
Yeah, thanks, bye!
Love you all. Have fun.